Okay, hey guys, welcome to this evening. We are so excited to have you. My name is Lori Welch, and I'm going to tell you I had this idea to do this event because I really believe that I'm a diamond in this company. Plexus has changed my life. I'm a mom of 4, grandma of 7. I've lost over, I've lost over 40 pounds with these products. I had a lot of digestive issues that I no longer have. But I want to tell you, I really felt like I was in the right place at the right time once I had this business opportunity presented to me. And the first people that I wanted to go to were the most successful people that I knew of, because I knew that successful people would know how to recognize an amazing opportunity. And I knew this was an amazing opportunity because I saw everyday people making really good income, and it made complete sense because the products that we have really address the multitudes. It's not for just a specific age range. It's not just for a specific gender. It really is something that is such an incredible, affordable product line and covers just so many things for people. It gives them energy. It helps them go to the bathroom correctly. It helps them lose weight if that's what they need to do. It helps them gain weight if that's what they need to do. It's obviously helped us age backwards from the inside out, and helps with your mood because it's boosting your serotonin levels and giving you all those happy hormones. And again, it's super, super affordable. So one time in my life, quite a long time ago, I was presented a different type of opportunity. I was 17 years old, and it was actually selling mutual funds. And I grabbed a hold of that, and I made 6 figures when I was 18 years old, only because I was in the right place at the right time. It was kind of something new starting up. And Plexus seriously was all of that for me. And so I kind of really got the vision for doing this tonight, because I think if you are not talking to the people that you know that are super successful in life about this opportunity, then they're really missing out. Yes, they need the products, but they're going to want to know about the business. I was doing just fine. I was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years before getting introduced to Plexus. I didn't really have huge financial needs, but I'm really grateful that my daughter told me about the business. And so I just said, I asked these amazing people, would they please come on and share their stories, why they are wanting to do this as a business, to hopefully show you, and if you're watching this tonight and this is your first introduction, right place, right time, amazing financial opportunity. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Brooke Hemingway. I love her story, and thank you so much for being on tonight.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. As Lori said, my name is Brooke Hemingway. I am going to be 41 this summer. I am a mom of 6 kids, ages 1 through 12. I live in the middle of nowhere on a small island called Kauai. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe not. I have no experience in sales, in marketing, in anything like that. My experience, I actually have 2 degrees in health, a degree in kinesiology and a bachelor's degree in nursing. I worked for 10 years as an intensive care nurse, and my husband and I have been married for 21 years. I actually was the lucky girl that married my husband before he started medical school. And so we have been through it all together. When I meet people, they often say, oh, you must have married him because he was the cute doctor. And I was like, nope, I married him when he had the cockroaches in the car and he didn't have a dollar to his name. And so we have done this whole journey of life together. And I am super passionate about sharing the business because of our experience. Listen, I was probably one of the last people that you would think would do this. I live, like I said, in the middle of nowhere. I don't live around family. I have a whole gaggle of kids. I homeschooled them on and off because, you know, I live in the middle of nowhere and I don't have a lot of options for education. And so I was really doing a lot of this on my own. My husband was working 80 to 90 hours a week in 3 different hospitals, and I felt a lot like a single mom. As you can imagine, I had a lot of babies in a short period of time, so I was exhausted. I couldn't sleep at night. I was bloated. I had headaches. I had sugar cravings, all of these things, and I was the quote unquote fit, healthy girl. I have been a fitness instructor for over 20 years. I didn't have a pound to lose. Unlike Lori, I actually was super healthy in that sense, but I was struggling with my mood, with my anxiety, with my postpartum blues, and with those energy slumps. And I just could hardly get through the day without wanting to shove my kids into bed at 7:30. And so I was the girl that joined Plexus just because I was like, I got to try something because I can hardly handle my life, and my husband's working all the time. You know, bless his heart, he's a great provider, but we can't even enjoy any of that money that he makes because he's never here. And so I started the products. I actually started sharing right away, not really even thinking about a business. Honestly, I had never been exposed to any network marketing. So unlike Lori, who had done some kind of something like this, I had no experience. I had really no social media network, 150 Facebook friends. I wasn't on Instagram. I had been disconnected from a lot of people that I grew up with, went to college with, because I had my head in the sand, having kids, just trying to get through day to day. And so I'm the girl that had a lot of education. We had the money. We did not have the lifestyle though. And that's the situation that my husband and I love to talk to people about. And he's going to really try to hop on here, but he had a crazy busy shift in the ER today. He's running a little bit behind. If he doesn't hop on here, I kind of want to speak for him in saying that, you know, a lot of people that are professionals, a lot of people that are in the medical field, they might have the money, they might have the house, they might have the other things, but it usually comes with a load of student loans. It comes with a lot of stress. It comes with a lot of having to perform and work in the system and not have a lot of joy and satisfaction and freedom. And that is the situation we were in. And so as I started taking the products, as I understood these are very relevant. Anybody could use these products, whether you're 2 or 92. It doesn't matter. Everybody has a gut. Everybody needs a healthier gut, especially in this day and age. If you don't believe me, just research it. But everybody needs that. And so I have a product here that is literally a gold mine. It's not just makeup or jewelry or clothing. We all like those things, but those things don't change lives. So I have a product here that has the potential to change lives, that has the potential to give people more independence in their health and less dependence on the system. And I have this incredible financial opportunity. So once I saw that, I thought, well, it'd be nice to replace my nurse's income. I was working per diem Friday night shift at the hospital. And so that was my first goal. I wanted to be what's called a Ruby ambassador. That's about $30,000 a year. I was only working part-time, so at the time, that's what I was making, because I have to tell you, if you are wealthy or you're married to someone that does well-to-do, you don't really like to be introduced as Thomas's wife. You don't really like to just be the person that's the wife or the husband. You have a name. You want to create something of your own. You want to contribute. And so I really wanted to contribute. My husband had worked his tail off through med school, through residency, after residency, working 80 to 90 hours a week. And I'm super passionate about this because I used to be the wife that sat on the couch and felt sorry for myself and complained that my husband was working so much. You know what I have to say to that? Get off your butt and go to work and do something amazing like this. This provides an incredible opportunity for smart, successful go-getters to really create anything that they want. There is no ceiling. There is no cap. I out-earn my husband more than 2 times now as a full-time physician. I far out-earn him, and my income continues to grow every single month because we have products that work. We have a compensation plan that's generous and fair, and we have no cap. And so when I looked at this opportunity, I thought, you know what? Something has to change, because it's really nice to have finances and to have money, but it's not really nice to not have family time. And it's not awesome that my husband doesn't know our kids. He loves them, but he sees them maybe a total of half an hour a day. That's not enough. And so if you are craving a change in your lifestyle, but you don't want to sacrifice all of your income, you don't have to. You have to think outside of the box and seize an amazing opportunity like this and be smart and see it for what it is: an awesome product, an awesome compensation plan, fantastic training, and the sky is the limit. And so that is my story, why I'm super passionate about this, and I tell everybody about it. I have a team that has a ton of professionals on it, and sometimes I laugh because I wasn't really a full-time working mom, but I have attracted a lot of full-time and part-time working women. And one of those is my dear friend Cher, who's here. And she has a really awesome background. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit. In her professional life, her career was geared towards government relations and development. She's always been a super brainiac person about health and nutrition. Like, she is the researcher extraordinaire. You cannot get anything past her. She knows her facts, this girl. So prior to Plexus, Cher worked in the federal government in Washington, D.C. for 10 years, followed by 15 years in nonprofit work, most recently working for the organization called Operation Underground Railroad, which is a charity that focuses on rescuing children from trafficking all over the world. It's incredible. Since leaving that position earlier this year, she still consults for local and global charities and likes to focus a little bit more time on building her Plexus business. She ranked Emerald, which is one of the top 3 positions in the company, in April, and she will be going Sapphire this year and then very shortly after Diamond. I know that, no doubt. So nothing matters more to her than her family. She's also got a very large family, and philanthropy is definitely second place to her there in her heart. She absolutely loves helping people reach their goals, and she just shouts Plexus from the rooftops, and is probably one of those people that you would never think would do this, especially considering where she lives. But she'll tell you a little bit more about that.
Thank you for that intro, Brooke. Brooke is someone so special to me because she's brought Plexus into my life. So the only thing I would add before I talk about why I shared this, being a busy working professional, is just a quick my health needs. I'm a little bit unique with Plexus in that I had a physician 9 years before Plexus who was pretty up and coming, like she was kind of ahead of her time, and she taught me a lot about my gut and about my insulin. So when Plexus came along, when I read the label, I had identified pretty quickly that the formulators of Plexus were probably going off of the same studies that my doctor was, and I was really grateful for that. So I had 9 years of doing the same type of thing in a harder way. When Plexus came along, it was cheaper and easier, far easier for me. So I was super, super grateful for it. So as far as my health issues go, I can probably relate to more people than I want to, because I was truly a hot mess for 22 years. I was very autoimmune, horrible infertility, cystic ovaries, early menopause, severe complicated migraine. Those are the kind of migraines that mimic stroke symptoms. My thyroid, everything. I mean, everything was a mess. Everything was a mess. Allergies, sleep, sugar, 22 years. So I can really relate to natural healing working. So this naturally folds into working it as a business. So as Brooke said, I was a really, really busy full-time employee. And working in philanthropy, the benefit I had is that I could work from home. So it was a flexible schedule, but flexible doesn't mean a light schedule by any means. It was incredibly demanding. So I made sure that during nap time, during preschool, I mean, everything was crammed in. And we did have some childcare after school, so I could go to actual in-person, face-to-face meetings. But it was busy. It was super busy. So people love to say, I don't have time to share. And my first comment is, of course you do, because you already share anything you want to. You already share favorite restaurants and favorite makeup. You already call people and say, these are my favorite jeans. You already share. It's just what you want to share. So for me, caring about health and caring about some of the findings I had with actually reversing how sick I was and going to all those specialists and taking all those prescriptions for so long, that was a natural thing to share. So there was no way that I wasn't going to open my mouth when I'm at a play date in the evening and a mom's complaining about her energy or her infertility or her painful periods or any of those things, you still share. So I was already raving. Raving was easy. And what people don't realize is if you're authentic and you just want to help people, you're sharing, you're working the business. You're already there. So that was happening automatically. So of course I noticed my products getting paid for. That was a quick, easy one, just by friends, low hanging fruit, people in my family, natural circle, seeing me lose weight, seeing my skin clear up, any of those things. So that was easy. But boy, was it unique when I had $500 extra a month. Boy, was it unique when I had $5,000 extra a month. I mean, when all that began to magnify, why would I ever stop? When the whole thing I was doing all along was just being nice, helpful, you know? So one excuse I think we all hear a lot is that people don't need to make the money. Brooke touched on it in her own family. And I am pretty bold. I mean, no shock to Brooke, that's just not true. I mean, because I work with the wealthiest philanthropists literally in the world, millionaires and no joke billionaires. I've received checks from all types. Every one of them that I know personally save money. Every one of them. They all care to save money. So you will never convince me that making money isn't a need of yours, because it's smart, for one, financially, it's just smart. If you're sharing anyway, it's smart. And then what Brooke touched on, it's time freedom. It just is. There's no way around it. It's time freedom. And that is a value to people. So a business tip that I wanted to make sure to include is to just don't freak yourself out. Don't overthink it. One of my favorite group calls in the last week or two was when Christy Jeck said, have that twinkle in your eye. That hit so close to home. If you're just helpful and happy and have that twinkle in your eye, people are so drawn to it. I don't care how busy you are. I don't care. Yes, it took me 3 years to reach Emerald, but I had a busy full-time job and 6 kids. So I'm good with my pace. I'm happy. Everyone I've shared with knows that I love, love, love Plexus. I'm grateful. I'm humbled. So be happy about it and don't freak yourself out. Oh, I'm working a business. Am I going to cram it in? Am I going to have time? Just be happy. Love people and share it. And so now, earlier this year, I did step off of that charity. I'm able to give more charitably now instead of go to the donors and get from them. That's a huge, huge goal of mine. That was one of the main things that I wanted to do. And my team are full, just like Lori was saying, of professionals. I mean, they're just full of them, and they believe that they can do it too. So I hope that was helpful tonight, and we'll pass on to the next person.
So amazing. And I remember you saying, you know, I really feel like I can make a big difference here, and I can make a lot of money, and I can become a donor that donates a lot of money. And so I love your charitable heart. And that is something that I love to be able to have the freedom to do that too. It's just really awesome. More money just gives you more options. So I'm excited to also introduce you to my friend Jessika Wagner. She's an incredible woman. She lives in Salt Lake, and she is a graduate of Ohio State University. She's an MD. She's been a full-time board-certified practicing pediatrician since 2010. On top of that, she has 4 kids, ages 3, 5, 7, and 9. And she's been married to her amazing husband for 15 years. And she does work full-time and takes call and all of those things. And she also just recently ranked Emerald, which again is one of the top 3 ranks in the company. And so Jessika, take it away.
Thanks so much, Brooke. So as she said, I am a full-time pediatrician. In my company, that's 4 days a week. So I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday is mommy day. And a lot of the evenings, my husband is in a leadership position in our church. So he's gone a lot of the evenings. So we just swap. And so if you hear my kids screaming in the background, I apologize for that, but this is real life.
It's real life.
Yes. So a little bit of my health background. I was pretty much the quintessential doctors don't make very good patients. So I was really good at telling everybody what they needed to do to be healthy, with eating well and exercising and getting good sleep and reducing stress and all those things. But I was not very good at doing any of those myself. The only thing pretty much I was doing right before Plexus was drinking water. I was really good at that. But I was tired all the time, and I just kind of thought that was normal. I mean, I went to med school and residency. I worked full time. I had 4 little kids. And so exhaustion was just a part of my life. It took me forever to fall asleep every time one of my kids woke me up or I took a call. And I just, like, I had to be in my bed for like 10 hours or I never felt rested, but I was certainly not asleep for that long. I had horrible sugar cravings. I was super backed up and on stool softeners every day. So I was just kind of a wreck. I was healthy. I wasn't on any like prescription medications or anything like that, but I was not living my best life, that's for sure. So I was living a dream though. I had dreamed since 5th grade of becoming a pediatrician. I went home from career day that day, told my mom I was going to be a pediatrician, never found anything to change my mind, and went straight on through from high school to college to med school to residency. Had my first baby 3 months before my residency was over and kept on going. So, but that's all I ever wanted. I wanted to be a pediatrician. I wanted to be a wife and a mom. And I had all of that. And I just was surviving my life. And I was like, this is not all it's cracked up to be. And so I know some of you probably can relate to that. But I had been learning about gut health and magnesium supplementation, probiotics, all of these kind of things in some of my continuing medical education courses. And also just because it became an interest of mine, I have children that have food allergies. My husband has celiac disease and things like that. So the gut kind of became an interest of mine. And the more I learned about it as new medical research was coming out, because honestly, when I was in med school, they didn't really talk about gut health. Like that wasn't a thing back then. And I graduated from medical school 12 years ago yesterday. So you give patients probiotics after antibiotics, but that was about it. So the more I started learning as research was coming out, the more I knew that the answer to my problem was my gut. And I needed to have good quality probiotics. I had to get rid of the junk, and I needed magnesium supplementation. So I didn't know quite as much about the blood sugar balance stuff, but I was watching a friend posting, my cousin actually, and she asked for somebody to, she was looking for 2 more people to do a 7-day challenge of her pink drink. And so I had already looked at the probiotics in the Plexus line and knew that's what I wanted. So I signed up as a wholesale ambassador because everybody wants the cheapest price. And I knew that if I was going to start, I was going to commit to at least 3 months because that's the only way you're going to see healing. So I did that. And for 3 months, I took the products. In the first few days, my sugar cravings went away and I stayed out of my candy cabinet for the first time ever. I was off my daily stool softeners in a week. And then in the first 3 months, my energy improved, my sleep improved, my mood improved. I just felt alive. I lost 12 pounds. I should mention that my baby was 5 weeks old when I started. So I was in the thick of a newborn and everything got better instead of worse. So at that point in time, 3 months in, I said, you know what? Everybody needs this. This is the answer to everybody's problem. And so I started sharing about it. And honestly, I just wanted people to know about it because everybody needs it. And so my drive to help people be healthier, which is why I went to medical school, is exactly why I shared Plexus. It was the same thing. It is in the core of who I am. And so as I shared, all of a sudden, people are signing up because people need this. And then all of a sudden I'm getting paychecks. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Honestly, guys, I still don't know how the compensation plan fully works. My team members ask me and I'm like, I don't know. I just get a paycheck. So, but my goal primarily is to help people feel better. And as I've done that, and as I've helped other people help their friends and family feel better, I have grown a business and I just ranked Emerald, and these paychecks now, I mean, honestly, I'm paying my student loans off way faster than I ever could have working my full-time job. So as Brooke mentioned, most physicians come out of med school with a whole lot of debt, right? So that's me. I also am the only income earner in my family. My husband's a stay-at-home dad, which is absolutely amazing, but I was going to have to work forever and still be paying off my student loans when my kids were in college. I'm a pediatrician. We're like down here, at the bottom of physician pay. So, I mean, I make good money, but as far as doctors go, not like that. So this income is helping me to be able to gain that financial freedom faster. I still work full-time, and I'm planning on working full-time for a while because I am able to fit this Plexus business around my schedule, around my kids' schedule, and with my family, we just make it work. So for now, I love both jobs and I'm doing what I'm doing. But I am going to see financial freedom far sooner doing this as a business rather than just working as a physician, which is going to allow me to retire early. And that's awesome. So the other thing that I really love about this business is that it's going to give me the opportunity to allow my husband to live his dream. His dream is to own a whole lot of property and collect rent checks, but you have to have capital to buy property. So this now is going to allow him to do that. So as our kids are getting more into school and he has more time freedom, he's going to be able to live that dream too. So it just dreams all around, man. This Plexus taught me how to dream again. When I thought I was living my dream, Plexus taught me that there's no end. There's no limit to our dreams and what we can accomplish. And that's why I'm still here.
I love that so much. Dreams all around. We should just kind of quote that. So just to put things into perspective, an Emerald makes a 6-figure income every year. They also get a car stipend for Alexis, which is awesome. Cher went and picked hers up the very next day after she went Emerald. They also earn an annual trip for 2 to Maui. So Jessika will be bringing her husband. Cher will be bringing her husband. You could bring a friend, but you get all of those other extra perks. Plus we have profit sharing, which is very unique in a network marketing company. And so that's it for me tonight. I'm going to pass the time back over to Lori, and she's going to share a little bit more. Go for it, Lori.
Thank you so much, Brooke. So, okay, I'm just blown away by these stories. It's just awesome. And that is exactly why I wanted to do this tonight, is because you guys have stories and people need to be sharing not only just the products, but the business side with the people that are going to see it and want it. And so I am so happy to introduce my friend here, Dr. Mikulics. This is Dr. Stefanie Mikulics.
Hi there.
Yes, and she's going to share her story and why she is choosing to pursue Plexus as a business, why she loves the products, and it's just such an honor to have her tonight.
Thank you, Lori. Yeah, so I'm a board certified OBGYN, and I've been in practice for about 18 years now. And so I have kind of a long story. It's very similar in a lot of ways to Jessika's story, in that, went for it, had the dream to help people and be a doctor from it being a young child, and went straight through. And one day just found myself looking in the mirror in the operating room at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had a newborn at home. I was in the hospital. My scrub shirt was drenched with breast milk because I hadn't made it home on time to feed my child like twice in a row that night. And I thought, wow, what is this? Who cares? You're making money. You did the goal that you wanted to accomplish. You're helping all these people, but I got a baby at home, and my heart was aching. So time goes on, and I had an opportunity to shift my business to focus more just on women's health and gynecology. And at that point, I became a lot more interested in gut health. I started taking courses in functional medicine, and kind of the problems and the needs of my patients really guided my practice. And so I had been hearing about Plexus from my patients, and those, conditions that maybe were a little off the scale from a GYN perspective, that I was always happy to listen to them, but maybe didn't have the magic cure or the right prescription to offer. And I would just hear, year to year, and yeah, I still have this, ailment, this ache, this inflammation, this hormone. Well, hormone imbalance we tried to cover, but the tools are limited. So then I started hearing some of them were getting better, and they'd come in and, what are you doing? I'm doing Plexus. It's like, oh, that put it on my radar. At the same time, I had started to sell supplements out of my office, mainly because I wasn't comfortable with telling a patient, just go out and buy a probiotic without, a calcium, without me researching and at least knowing that the product I was recommending was, safe for them. We don't have a lot of guidelines in that department. So I brought it into my office. One, I felt better about it. Two, It was convenient for the patients. So that was going along okay. And then my next thing was I really, I've been into skincare and wanted to get aligned with less toxic chemicals. By this time, my daughter was 15, was having some skin issues of her own. And I thought, whoa, the stuff I usually would go to, I'm not going to go to for her, you know? So at that time, a friend of mine recommended Joyome to me, and Joyome is really what did it?
Yeah.
So just seeing the before and afters, the awesome high quality ingredients, and the fact that it's European Union certified, I was like, woohoo, let's go. And then to learn about the triplex and, you know, all these patients that we've been trying to address gut health, because that was behind so much of their inflammation, so much of their pain, so much of their hormonal imbalance. And now we can just do it really nicely with this clean line that is simple to use. And there's so much support around it. You know, other supplements I would give them in my office and then maybe not see the patient back for a year. Now we're following up with them, you know, call me when you get your products. Let's go over how to take them. Let's customize to you. So from that standpoint, it's been really wonderful. We're seeing great results in my patients and my family members. And from a business standpoint, it makes so much sense, you know, to be able to reward the patient and you get a little money back on your products just from sharing. If something happens, I have a 60-day money back guarantee. I could never tell that to my patients before. You know, just from an overall business model, there's no overhead. I have my own medical practice right now. And up until very recently, had 3 employees under my belt. You know, we have a mortgage, I have equipment, all, you know, kinds of insurances to pay. And with Plexus, you have like the overhead of a website. it's just great.
$39.95.
Yeah, $39.95 a year. So I'm thrilled in that I am getting to continue to practice in a way that is aligned with me and what I feel good about, and in a way to help people in a way that I feel good about it, and to have the opportunity for such financial freedom and time freedom. I have to pinch myself. I'm so happy that I have this opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we have Brittany, and I'm going to read her bio because it is so amazing. I don't want to miss a thing. And so Brittany is a CPA and a managing partner of a successful accounting firm in downtown Denver, along with her tax attorney husband. She's built $1 million firm from the ground up in just under 10 years. Brittany's a mom of 3 little girls. She originally came to Plexus desperate for some answers for her health. As she experienced that healing, the numbers of the Plexus comp plan got her attention, and now she's passionate about the business, and she is a numbers girl. So Brittany, can you share with us?
Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, this has just been so amazing. This is like just such a privilege for me to get to speak with all of these amazing, accomplished women. So yes, I just am so excited to be on here, and this has just been so inspiring to hear these stories. And I'm so glad that you put this together, Lori, and thank you for asking me to be a part of it. We've heard some amazing perspectives, especially from some medical professionals, and I loved Cher's perspective, you know, as a really, you know, high-powered you know, someone working in philanthropy who has a really demanding job. And I think I can bring some of my own unique experience and tell you a little bit about why I'm here with Plexus and why I was drawn to the business opportunity as well. As Lori mentioned, I'm a CPA. I have an amazing husband who's a CPA and a tax attorney. And we have built a very successful accounting practice right here in downtown Denver. I'm actually still in my office right now. I've got a big project trying to wrap up before I take off next week for convention. And I have my 3 little girls at home. And I started this practice when I was 25. And I have worked my booty off over the last 10 years. It'll be 10 years at the end of this year. To really build my firm into something special. And we've got about 5 employees now. We've got hundreds of clients. And we've been, you know, recognized by some professional organizations with some awards for our growth and our accomplishment. And I actually, as of this year, have started, I was asked by one of the leading software and consulting firms in our industry to now teach conferences and seminars to other accounting firm owners on how to grow a profitable and efficient 21st century practice. And so I really love my work. I have worked hard. Like, this is, like I say, this is my fourth baby, this practice that I have built and invested so much of myself in over these years when I was having my babies and all of that kind of stuff. So what am I doing here with Plexus then? Well, 3 years ago, I was pretty much at the end of my rope, guys. I had my second baby about 2.5 years prior. She was about 2.5 at that point. I had just come out of a tax season that was really, really rough. I was just exhausted. I mean, it's like the same story you've heard from everyone else. I was exhausted, and during that tax season, I had gotten sick like 3 or 4 times, and just like really sick, and had to work through it. So I could just tell like my immune system was like, I'm done here. And I was stressed out. Like, my job is just very stressful and very demanding depending on the time of year, especially. And I had digestive issues going all the way back to high school that were only worse when I was under stress. And so it had just really been a miserable couple of months for me. And I was also just super, super frustrated. I'd been working out with a trainer for well over a year. I was eating as healthy as I knew how, and literally had not lost a single pound of baby weight in 2.5 years. And so with all of that, you know, I had brain fog. I just didn't feel, I was used to feeling, you know, I'm used to just feeling sharp and like on my game, and I just didn't at that point. And it was making me feel really defeated, and I just didn't know where to turn. I was doing all the things I knew how to do. And so a college friend of mine started posting about Plexus on Facebook. I knew nothing about it. Kind of saw a couple things that interested me. So I kind of started poking around and trying to figure out what was behind these. And things like gut health and blood sugar balance were not really things that I was familiar with, but I started to read about them and the things that were connected with them. And I thought, hey, like, what if this isn't my fault? Like, what if this could help me and be, you know, kind of get to the root of some of my frustrations? What if this could help get me back to feeling like me? Because I really did just feel like a stranger in my own body. I wasn't used to feeling this way. And that's a really lonely place to be. And so I ordered the products like right after tax season and got started on them. And I swear within a month, I was like, oh my gosh, it's me again. Like, I hadn't like lost any weight yet or anything like that, but it was just like this cloud lifted and my brain fog went away and I just felt like myself again. And so it was just unbelievable. And of course I got my husband then started on the products, and I was like, Mom, you got to try these. And oh, you know, my sister had these issues that I now knew were related to gut health. So I just started telling like all the people that I knew, like, oh, like you have to do this. But of course I was like, oh, but like, I'm not going to work the business though. Right. Like I didn't think that was for me. You know, I had people I knew that did network marketing that I respected, but I was like, I mean, my plate was beyond full. You know, I had 2 kids at the time and a very, you know, very demanding career. And I just thought, okay, like that's not going to be my thing. But I continued to research. I continued to see what these products were about. And I kind of had this like hunch that I was like onto the real deal here. And I actually remember where I was standing in line at Disneyland when one of my uplines, Jamie Haskin, who's now Diamond, sent me the income disclosure and the comp plan. And I did like a full like double take there in the line for like A Bug's Life at Disneyland, because I saw what these top ranks were making. And I was really, really blown away when I saw that. And so my wheels started turning, of course. I wasn't quite ready to like go all in, but I kept telling some people here and there. And I really started looking into the company. I started studying the compensation plan. I'm a numbers gal. I like my numbers, and numbers make a lot of sense to me. I started studying this compensation plan, and I could see really quickly how they had structured this to be kind of a win-win for everyone. They were taking care of their ambassadors. They were taking care of their product users. It was sustainable for the company. And I could just tell that they had overcome, with the way they had structured their compensation model, so many of the obstacles that I felt like were kind of all the things that people associate with network marketing doing it wrong. And I felt like Plexus had really come up with an inventive way of doing this the right way. And I could tell it was a company that had very strong leadership. They had incredible values. They were guided by excellence, and they had a product that was really, like Brooke said, like life-changing. That I could offer this to my friends and family members as something to improve their quality of life, not just something else like to buy from me. And so, you know, I really saw that this was a company that had the values that I was trying so hard to, you know, to have in my traditional business. And it just kept feeling like more and more aligned for me, of this passion that I had for business, as well as this passion for what these products had done in my life and in my family's life. And at the time, you know, we weren't in a position, you know, where $500 a month was going to be life-changing money for us. I mean, I wouldn't have like walked over it on the sidewalk or anything, but that wasn't going to be like the game changer for our family. But I saw the compensation plan and I was like, oh, but like $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, that would be really life-changing. And, you know, so many of the people who talk tonight have iterated this, but, you know, as a professional and as a business owner, there is so much pressure. And the more successful you are at it, the pressure just gets more and more and more. I mean, now I've got this office to pay for. I've got employees that are depending on me. You know, and when you're successful, like your personal lifestyle tends to creep up on that in terms of, you know, your kids being in private school, and you just wake up one day and you realize that like you cannot get off the treadmill. You cannot let up even for a second because you have to sustain this thing that you have created. And as much as I love it, that wears a person out. And so, you know, I started looking at this and I really saw like a vision of life with that pressure removed. It wasn't my goal to get out of my job. You know, that was never part of my plan, but I thought if I could run this business that I've created without the pressure, without chasing invoices for payroll day, without, you know, having to stress about whether I could afford to hire someone else that would make my life easier, if I could remove those things, then that would be life-changing. And the extra money would be the difference of paying off my husband's law school student loans before our kids are in college. I've heard several other people say that. And those kind of things, that is life-changing, no matter what your income level, no matter how successful you are, being able to take that pressure off, being able to slow down the treadmill, even if your goal isn't to get off of it, that is absolutely life-changing. And so that's what I started to see, and eventually got over all my reservations, you know, like Cher said, like, I just decided not to overthink it. I just decided to go in and say, if this is supposed to fit in my life, it will fit in my life. And so, you know, I went in with that, and I could see with the eyes of an entrepreneur what the potential was. What I honestly didn't see going in was just how personally blessed I was going to be from working this business, through the community I've gained and the relationships I've made. You know, being a business owner is super isolating. No one gets it. No one gets how hard you work. No one gets how hard you're, you know, how much you're invested in this. And being a business owner and a mom is even more isolating. You don't get invited to play dates at the park on Tuesday mornings, you know, because you can't come. You know, you don't have that kind of community. You're not in MOPS. You don't get that kind of connection. And I was in a place where I was getting a lot of adult interaction, but I didn't have those relationships outside of my marriage and outside of my family that really filled my cup. And I feel like with Plexus, it has just blessed me with relationships that have really helped carry me through some difficult seasons, pregnancy, stressful times, you know, tax seasons. Just the encouragement and support that I get from my Plexus team and my Plexus community is just unbelievable. So that has been kind of one of those unexpected blessings that I didn't know I needed it until, you know, I had it right in front of me. It's also given me some just much needed fun. You know, I mean, spoiler alert, you know, we don't have silent disco and private concerts at accounting firm conventions. We don't get to do the cool stuff that I've gotten to do in Plexus. I've never earned a free cruise in my accounting business. And we've just gotten to go on some amazing trips and have amazing opportunities because of what this business has done that I would have never, ever had in my traditional business. And so that's kind of just this, you know, again, fun, relationships. Those are things that I didn't know that I needed those. I didn't know that I kind of needed that to kind of reset where I was at that place in my professional career. And then lastly, it has just grown me as a leader. As you know, probably about the time I was getting into Plexus, I was probably close to hitting my lid in terms of what I was capable of in terms of leading and growing my firm. And, you know, Plexus has stretched me. It's forced me to grow. It's forced me to read material and gain new skills that I never would have taken the time to make myself do if not for this business. You know, and I always say, you know, business leaders, executives, they pay thousands of dollars for leadership development training to learn these kinds of skills, to figure out how to raise their lid so they can lead their organization better. And I joke that I have found leadership development training that pays me thousands of dollars. And that, you know, it has allowed me to be a better leader, a better boss, a better wife, and a better mom because of the skills I've gained in this business. And so I just can't say how grateful I am for this opportunity, for what it's doing for our family, and for what it's done for me personally. And so, you know, no matter where you're coming at, you know, from this, you know, I say, you know, I think entrepreneurship outside of my faith and my family is the most rewarding thing I have ever done with my life. And I love this opportunity because it is my opportunity to share what I love about being an entrepreneur without the risk, without the debt, without all the pressure, without the payroll. It is the lowest risk, lowest overhead opportunity for anyone, no matter their skill set, their education level, whatever, to be their own, to own their own business. And I think that is so powerful, and I love seeing what it's doing in the lives of the people on my team. So that's all I got. I'll kick it back to you, Lori.
Woo! Thank you. That was awesome. I love those points. And just to echo what Brooke said, it's a little out of the box thinking, but I like to think of myself as I'm getting people out of their boxes because what we do, like you said, Brittany, is so much fun. So it's rewarding in that you help people with their health, but you get to help them with their finances too. And we get to party together. And so I love that. And so I just wanted to host this tonight to show everybody that there is another way and that this is available to people, that what we do is fun and rewarding, and it is something that you should share with those very busy, successful people, because they do really want to know. And so thank you guys so much for being here tonight, and have a great night. Bye.